We started the evening out right with ribeye steaks, and there were strong thermals all evening. It was pushing me up 300 feet per minute and down, not quite that much, just at the same airspeed. So I tried to keep it up high, but there were times I had my nose pretty high and still barely climbing. Typically at 40 miles an hour, this thing's going to climb 300 feet per minute, but there were times when I was actually descending and I had the nose pulled up to 40 miles an hour and 6,000 RPM. I put another keeper on my left aileron cable, you'll see there. That's actually just black duct tape with a tube wrapped around a tube and plastic tube, and worked great. A small private airport about 13 miles north of us wanted me to do a couple flyovers. They had fireworks set up on the runway so it couldn't land, but had my first real scare. It did not want to climb out at the far end of the runway. I had full power, nose pulled back, and it was actually descending. Really scary. It finally barely climbed out over the trees and very slowly was climbing for almost a minute. It took me to just get 100 feet, 200 feet above the trees. It wasn't too bumpy. It was mostly either I was climbing really fast or descending really fast due to the thermals and what I was flying over. But and then I got pushed around a lot. My tail would get kicked over one side or the other. So here you see me trying to climb. This is a nose high attitude in my plane. And this here's one of the biggest farms in our area, family farm still, and they've got a real modern milking system. Actually selects out the brown cows for chocolate milk and then the grumpy ones for sour milk. And beautiful night for flying though, and I'm learning how to fly in rougher weather. Went back to the airstrip and just did pattern work, touch and goes or landings, full stop landings, and did get another first, and that's an aborted takeoff. My last shot here coming up, I'll show you going back into the trees, the runway right there going back into the trees. Normally you hit 40 miles an hour and you are leaping out of ground effect 50 feet high in a second or two, and then you're still climbing 300 feet per minute. And I was barely skimming the ground, just above the ground at 40 mile an hour, so I just pulled the throttle back and put her back down. That's a bad direction.